to receive Social Security and cut Medicare benefits to keep the programs from going broke? What about increasing the amount of income individuals pay Social Security taxes on? Should there be a means test for these benefits?
Well, let's just be very clear tonight. Our record is very clear. What has been cited by my opponent has been independently verified by people like NBC News, Political Fact, numerous organizations that have said it's just a falsehood. And it is false. When it comes to Social Security and Medicare, I'm 100% committed to those programs. You know, as many of you know, I'm the youngest of 12, whose father passed away when I was 2, and my mother raised us on a Social Security check and a Medicare and a military death benefit check. She relied on those programs. The fact is, those programs are going bankrupt. And what I have offered is to say, we went to Washington, D.C. to tackle problems. And to say that 2033, when these programs go bankrupt, is something that we can deal with, because as my opponent says, there's only going to be a 15% cut because that bankruptcy is not down to 0. I don't find that acceptable. I don't find that it's acceptable to know that that catastrophe is coming down the pipeline, and we're not willing to roll up our sleeves to solve it. Now, we have put forth ideas. My opponent's probably going to cite the Ryan budget and say that this is changing Medicare and Social Security as we know it. But let's be very clear. The red line that we have drawn in the ground is that we will not change Social Security and Medicare for the people that are in it or on it. Or, if we do it soon enough, because we have some options, the generation that is within retirement of Social Security and Medicare. That means people that are 55 and older will get the Social Security and Medicare that's been promised. Not one change, one iota. But in order to solve this problem, I think we need to have a conversation about solutions. And some of the solutions that we've been supportive of, and I think there's some agreement, removing the cap on the Social Security contribution. I've said publicly, and I've supported that change to Social Security. Now, what we haven't heard from my opponent, except for the other day, is she wants to change the benefit calculation. That's a different situation. That is taking people's money that was promised to them, and that changes Social Security for present beneficiaries.
Respond.
This question is about retirement with dignity. My mother worked until she was 85 years old, not because she wanted to, but because she was afraid. She was afraid that Social Security and Medicare wouldn't be enough for her, or wouldn't be there for her. We tried to get her to retire, but she didn't. You know, I am so committed to this issue. I don't understand at all why my opponent wants to start by cutting the benefits of the people who are on fixed incomes. You know, 2/3 of recipients of Social Security, for Social Security, it's their entire income or most of their income. Why are we starting by asking them to pay more? Why are we starting with Medicare? Why are we starting with asking senior citizens to pay more instead of asking big pharmaceutical companies to pay more? We should be negotiating prescription drug costs with, Medicare has the largest buying power of, any buying group. We could save billions of dollars for taxpayers if we negotiated prescription drug costs. Unfortunately, my opponent is, he's taken campaign contributions from Big Pharma. Those are the special interests he's working for. And I heard him last week say maybe he'd take a look at that in private at another debate. But we need a full-throated defense of that as the first place to go. We need to preserve retirement with dignity. That's what I'll be voting for when I get to Congress. I've been endorsed by 3 national organizations because of my positive record for Social Security and Medicare, but also because of Tom Reed's 11% approval rating by the Alliance for Retired Americans. This is not a record that preserves the benefits that working people have paid into all their working lives. I'll be in Washington fighting for those people, not for Big Pharma.
Okay.
Well, just so we're clear,
One minute, correct.
just so we're clear, and my opponent's accusations just right there are just not accurate. They're not true. We are not talking about changing any benefits or supporting any change of any benefits to anyone receiving Social Security or on Medicare. That's the position I have taken. It is something that I think is the right way to go, because if you really care about seniors, how can you change their program like my opponent wants to do with removing the cap and changing the benefit calculation on Social Security? That's changing benefits for present seniors. That's not right. These are folks that relied on this promise that was made. It was part of the retirement plans, and that needs to be respected. And we'll continue to fight for that as we go forward. But what we're talking about is that we know there's a catastrophe coming down the pipeline in 2033. That's right around the corner. That's not that far away. And what we should be doing, because the sooner we act, the more solutions we can put in place, and we don't have to impact people that are 55 and older. What we can do is have to change things going forward to save them.
People ask me if I'm tired of this campaign. Not a bit. What I'm tired of is Tom Reed putting words in my mouth, misrepresenting my positions, misrepresenting my record. I am not for changing current benefits whatsoever. I'm the one here to preserve those benefits. And not just for me, I'm 63, I'll be there in a couple of years, but for my children, and for my grandchildren, and for your grandchildren. This isn't about generational warfare. We can make modest changes to the way we pay for these programs, and we can fix Social Security and Medicare for the long term, for this generation, and the next generation, and the generation to come. But you need a fighter who's going to be there working for you and for the people on fixed incomes, because that's who I'll be looking out for. I have the endorsements from the Alliance for Retired Americans, Senior Votes Count, and the National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare, 3 preeminent organizations, because they know I'll be there fighting for these senior citizens when I get to Congress.
Thank you.